If you have questions, concerns, and are just lost when it comes to planning for retirement, meet Steve Hoyl and Derek Caldwell of the Hoyl Financial Group. Now, I ran across an article on Yahoo Life, Steve, and it addressed condiments that can make you sick if you use them past your expiration date. Something to keep in mind here. Obviously, mayonnaise contains raw eggs. Don't do that. Creamy salad dressing, that easily spoils once it's open, so be careful. And if you're a big pickles fan, you need to watch for cloudiness. So there you go. There's some fun facts about, some of your favorite condiments that may have expired, so be careful. But I bring all this up to obviously link it to retirement here, talking about expired strategies that may be within your retirement plan. Steve, can you give us some examples of those?
Well, I think the 4% rule, take 4% from now on and you'll never run out of money. That's absolutely not adequate anymore. You need to have a strong, thought-out plan, not just a 4% rule. I think the other thing is I love to talk about the rule of 100. People come to see me and they say, oh, I'm not a big risk taker. And when you look at their risk, they have 98% of their money in their retirement plans, their IRAs, everything at risk. Wait a minute. What that basically means is the rule of 100 is take 100 minus your age. For example, someone 60 years old should have no more than 40% of their money at risk. And that means if you're the biggest risk taker, most people it should be, 18%, 19% in there. But, what we love to do is have people come in and let's do an asset allocation and look, how much risk do you want to take? And I think that's really important to mirror your plan to that. Just as this economy gets more volatile, safe money is really, really going to matter.
There was a recent study from our friends at Allianz, and they found that almost half of investors don't have an income plan for retirement. They also found that 48% are worried that they will live too frugally and not enjoy retirement. Nobody wants that. And then only 27% report hearing that their advisor discussed this topic. I mean, I don't know. I was flabbergasted when I read it because I thought the whole, retirement planning 101 is having an income plan.
Well, that's what you think, Jess. But, I have lots of people come to me, and a couple came to me a couple years ago, and they would wait till the end of the month, and then they would look at how much money they made for the month, and they would spend just that. And if they had a month where they didn't spend anything, they'd use their credit cards. And by the time they came to see me, Jess, they had $46,000 in credit card debt. They weren't making any money. And I'm like, whoa, time out. Let's get you an income strategy. Here's a bucket over here. Your Social Security is one bucket. Then here's another bucket over here for growth. We're going to put that money there and let it grow. And then we're going to take this bucket of money for income that you can't outlive. And as that growth bucket grows, we're going to do catch-up buckets along the way, but you're not enjoying retirement. And she's like, we just fight about money all the time. And it's funny, they were sitting on opposite ends of the conference table. It was a huge deal. She was like, I liked it better when we worked. And I'm going to tell you, Jess, we got that income strategy in place. That first month, what that money was direct deposited in there, that mailbox money, they loved it. And you know what, Jess? They come see us all the time now. Their kids even noticed a difference because they were miserable. Jess, retirement's supposed to be fabulous. It's supposed to be the best years of your life. But if you don't have a plan, you don't have an income strategy, you don't have a tax strategy, or estate planning strategy, all of those things really matter. People come to me and say, I've got this broker I love. Well, let me tell you what's different about Hoyl Financial. We really focus on that final phase of life called retirement. We're retirement professionals. We really advise you on that part of your life. And I really think what we've learned from our clients is what helps our newest clients become successful. And being a part of the Hoyl Financial family, we all have one goal, making sure your retirement is everything that you want it to be. But I'm telling you, just not doing one of those things could be a huge problem. I see people come to see me during COVID and they didn't have a medical power of attorney. And, mom is in the hospital. There's not a power of attorney. She's widowed, and who's going to make the decisions? All of these things, Jess, are critical, and they really matter. So I just tell people, call us, get a complimentary consultation. Let's just go down the list and dot the I's and cross the T's and make sure you really have a plan, Jess. But, this study talked about 48% worry that they'll, be too frugal. It's real.
If you don't have a plan in place, you're kind of just every single day flying by the seat of your pants, essentially with this big pile of money that's supposed to last you as long as you live. And if you don't have a plan in place, if that plan's not working for you, then you're just kind of every day hoping you don't overspend.
Well, I think what's interesting is, Jess, I'm seeing in my own parents, is that two heads are better than one. And one of them kind of gets where they can't make decisions cognitively. That plan may be in that brain, but the other spouse does not know about the plan. They don't know what to do. And I always find, too, that they can't make decisions once the other one is not able to help make that decision. But it's like, yes, absolutely. I need you to say yes to that. I need you to nod. That nod is everything in a couple, Jess. I just went to a funeral this weekend for some dear friends of ours, and they were married 69 years.
Wow.
They lived across the street. They were just our family, And so, Jess, it's so hard to make decisions. It really is. So I just think about, when you see people in retirement 35 or 40 years, longer than they ever worked, you got to have a plan, Jess.
Real quick, Steve, you were talking about couples and how couples work together when they come in and meet with you. There's always somebody that's kind of the quiet one. Then there's the outspoken one that, knows everything and has all the questions, whichever way you want to look at it. But it got me thinking about just how everyone needs to be on the same page, because I know you've talked about it before, how people get to that retirement finish line. They've been married 40, 50 years. And you ask a question of what do you want to do in retirement? And quickly it turns into a therapy session because somebody wants to stay home and watch TV while the other wants to motorcycle across the country. Everyone's got to be on the same page here.
Absolutely, Jess. When you think about retirement, people think it's all the numbers. It really, in my point of view, is 25% about the numbers and 75% about the emotions. And, being that we focus on the final phase of life called retirement, it's kind of a psychology session in the beginning for people to decide what they want to do and what retirement looks like. And then you go back and mirror those numbers to what you want in retirement. That's what really matters, Jess. Make sure they work out. I just have this little bit of money, but I want to travel 3 months a year in Europe. That's not going to work. Everybody has to be on the same page. But I tell you what else is fun is people have buckets of money from inheritance or real estate or something that they've never thought about how creative they could be with that bucket of money. It's really fun just to think outside the box. What do I really want to do in retirement? I've worked all these years. I've been tied down. What do I want to do? Jess, you're going to laugh, but here in Amarillo, we have a new Buc-ee's. And I can't tell you, I found out the other day when I was flying out, I stopped by Buc-ee's, how many people are now wanting to visit all the Buc-ee's.
Oh, yeah. It's a very touristy thing. Yeah, it's a big deal.
I was boarding Amarillo after a funeral on Saturday, and this lady, she was 85, 86, kind of in there, very straight-laced looking, and she had a Buc-ee's shirt on. I'm like, and she had this really proper little purse she's carrying, and she's wearing a Buc-ee's. It's real. It's just crazy. Yeah. So, some people want to visit all the state parks.
Whatever you want to do. The world's your oyster in retirement, right?
It's funny, Jess, I'll tell you the story. My mom and I was in San Diego for a business meeting a few years ago, and my nephew was in college in L.A. And my mom said, I want to go over and see him, but I have another request. What's that, Mom? She said, I want to drive all the way down Highway 1. Sure.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So we go and we have lunch with them, and it's raining. You've just never seen it raining. And we drive all the way down Highway 1, Jess. And if you know my mom, she's kind of like in control. And we get home and we're looking for a gas station. And it was stop and go the whole way. I've never been so exhausted. And she said, Stevie, I just have to tell you, you drive like a bat out of hell.
Oh,
so
my.
Anyway, we did her dream and drove down Highway 1. But you know what? Those are great memories. My mom and I are so close and we laugh. But I need to remind her this week about when I drove her down Highway 1 and she told me what a bad driver I was.
I love that, though. It's a memory that'll last forever,
Jess, my mom is the most amazing woman. And so is my dad. But I'm telling you, it's those memories. So what I want to tell, when you think about retirement, think about that. If you have grandkids, what's that memory you want to do with them? What's that one thing you want to do in retirement? If it's drive down Highway 1, great. If it's drive all the way down Route 66, that's great. But what I want to tell you in closing today, make retirement everything you want to be. And if you know my mom, Sharon Brown, tell her, remind her about that story, okay?
Real quick, Steve, as we, continue our discussions here on the show each and every single week. And listen, again, lots going on in today's world, our economy. A lot of people are kind of sitting back, holding their breath, wondering, well, whenever the other shoe drops, I guess I'll figure it out. But when that shoe drops, they want somebody in their corner that has their best interest at heart, that they can trust, etc. What makes you better than the guy down the street or better than those big box names that we have all heard of before?
Well, I think that we just have great people. Just our people have been with us forever. Cynthia's been with us 9 years. I mean, she has a mechanical engineering degree, but she loves what she does for our clients so much. She stayed with us. So I just think it's our people. I think it's our strategy, and I think it's that we're great listeners. And I think that's so important, Jess. We want to partner with you for your retirement. And at the end of the day, we're going to make it fun. So think about partner with us for your retirement, and think about driving down Highway 1. That's what it's all about.
If you'd like to sit down with Steve and Derek or a member of the Hoyl Financial Group, visit retiretexasstyle.com.
Investment advice offered through Hoyl Wealth Management, a Texas-registered investment advisor able to provide investment advice in states where it's registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Investments involve the risk of loss, including possible loss of principal. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here. Content provided is obtained from sources believed to be reliable but cannot be guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Steve Hoyl, Texas Insurance License 716036. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Hoyl is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Hoyl is licensed in your state, please call 806-371-9473.